Welcome to the Get Shit Done Show, episode 42. Eric didn't read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You
I
said you
did
watched the movie.
long time ago. It was
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay. Exactly. The book,
Yep.
but the book, especially at the time, was revolutionary. I remember as a kid in grade school, but it really kicked in junior high when all of my smart friends were reading books like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the Chronicles of Narnia and all these cool books that were, in my opinion, were very thick and had very small type. And I couldn't hold my attention span on a page until I could finish it. Never mind read a chapter without spacing out and the words swimming around and all this stuff. And I did read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. However, I didn't read the whole series. And today is episode 42 of the Get Shit Done show. And anyone that is a Douglas Adams and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan knows what that means. So if you know what 42 is, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear if we have any Hitchhiker fans. Positive focus. I am happy. I'm getting a more of a sense of clarity, I think, of what the Get Shit Done show is all about
Cool.
and how we can use it to really grow quite dramatically. And I think that there are some ways that we can use the Get Shit Done show to just skyrocket the success of the Get Shit Done community and everything that we're up to that I would love to discuss a little bit here today. What's your positive focus, Eric?
My positive focus is finding my resilience and yeah, just finding it within myself, the ability to show up regardless of what's happening around me in my life. And yeah, just feeling if you're going to build something bigger than yourself, sometimes you have to just put all the other shit aside and show up for it regardless of what's happening. And yeah, so that's what I'm leaning into today, and that's my positive focus. I feel good about it. And yeah,
Cheers.
it wasn't easy for me to show up today, and I almost did it, and I decided to last
Yeah.
minute, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I did.
No, dude, practicing rallying is such a good thing to do. Such a good thing to do. Easier if somebody else is involved, if you have somebody
Right,
to rally with,
exactly.
like it does help. It really
Yep.
does. I reflect this back to you. I've wanted to stream daily for years, and this is my longest streak of streaming every
Alright.
single day. And it is in no small part due to the fact that I have a like really committed co-host.
Right.
And that we're both doing it 7 days a week, like, it's really cool. We're not both doing it 7 days a
Well,
week,
yeah,
you know what I
Curtis
mean? Like
doesn't,
like,
yeah,
we're on a
yep,
schedule and, like, you consistently show up and
yep,
so that I don't slough it off either.
exactly.
Which is very easy when you're calling the shots, when you're running the show, it's very easy to change the rules to suit your fancy. Not always the most effective strategy. What I was going to do earlier was I was gonna do a hypnosis session, and maybe
Oh,
we'll do
cool.
that and maybe we
Yeah,
won't. But I figured if I'm flying solo today, I could do a hypnosis session, and then that led me down the path of thinking about what you were born to do. What were you put here to do? Or even a little bit less godly in, perspective is what is the way that you can help the most right now? How can you contribute the most right now to the people that you're focused on serving, on developing, thriving, mutual beneficial relationships with, business relationships with? Perhaps if you're an entrepreneur, one would expect, though this isn't in any way limited to your entrepreneurial efforts and initiatives. But in this case, we generally are talking to entrepreneurs. I've gone through a whole bunch of reinvention periods and phases in my entrepreneurial career, and I've found that they've been a little cyclical over time. It's really interesting. My first business was my salsa company when I was 19.
I
I started
remember.
out of my dorm room, basically, right?
Yep.
And I made a batch of Tellman's Golden Salsa 2 days ago
That's so cool.
from the recipe from when I was 19. I'm 48 now. that was a long time ago, and
Right.
it's still amazing. And when I make it, other people love it. It's something that I can make, something that I can create that other people really like. They're like, "That was awesome. Thank
Right.
you." And so that feels really good. There were a bunch of starts and stops, additional businesses to try to make money to pay the bills along the way because the salsa company was never profitable. And then none of those really worked out. And eventually, in college, which is when I started the salsa company, I was studying brain waves, I was studying shamanism, I was studying altered states of consciousness and peak performance, and I was running on a national level cross country team. So I was studying flow state and writing papers on this stuff. And that's how I got introduced to hypnosis. And then I used self hypnosis to get good grades in college for the first time. And then I went on to become a hypnotist, and that became my career. Apparently have that again is very beneficial to people, and people are they really give me a lot of good feedback around it is my hypnosis sessions. I apparently very good at it, and a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people really just love these sessions.
Right.
And there were many years where I got bored with it. I
Hmm.
just got completely bored with doing hypnosis because I know how to do it. I know how to get really good results most of the time, and it became no longer challenging for me.
Oh,
But I didn't find something else. And so what happened is over time, instead of me being focused on it having to be a challenge, I think my focus has shifted to be how can I serve this person the best right now? How can I help this person the most with what I have available? And how can I contribute?
right. Right.
And so I've been really enjoying discovering that shift in my own focus with hypnosis. And I'm curious about other people's experiences with any of the things that you've found in your life that are resonant, that you can do, that a way that you can contribute, a way that you can give, a way that you can help, a way that you can support others in a way that is appreciated and wanted and needed. One of the things that I did during my pretty much like decade that I was focused on being a marketing guru exclusively, one of the things that I did is I created hypnosis sessions and put them in my products to get people's mindset straight before they started going through the product. And so often people would write in telling me how much they appreciated the hypnosis session, but then say nothing about the marketing course because they didn't go and implement the marketing course. They might have learned it, but they didn't implement it. But the hypnosis session, when they listened to it, a change occurred, right? That was
Right.
noticeable. And so a lot often people say, if I had to email my list every day, I don't know what I would email them. If I had to make a social media post every day, I don't know what I would say. And so I'm bringing up the question, how can you contribute? Like, how can you help the most based on what you've seen so far in your life? What's come up? And so I guess I want to start there, Eric, with you is what's one or more of your things that you found you can do that you do well, that you enjoy doing, and that other people really appreciate when you do it or you create it, you get involved with this type of thing.
Okay. I guess what comes up is, yeah, just the journey of transformation and growth that I've been on. I feel has been I've gotten feedback that it's very inspiring to other people when I share about it, and people have reached out that they can really relate with that and helped inspire them and that kind of thing.
How can you bring that more
Yeah,
into your, videos? How can you bring that more into your posts? How can you bring
into
it
my
more into
posts,
the
right? Okay.
conversation or your
Mhm.
interactions with people?
I guess maybe focusing more on where people are at in their life and what kind of changes and transformations that they're wanting to create in their life, and seeing where any of my experience might be helpful to uplift and inspire other people or any perspective that I might have gained from decades of life experience and a lot of inner work and growth and transformation and working on myself and yeah, seeing
So,
how that applies to other people.
yeah, so but real world example. Like,
Okay.
how would you apply that? How could you flow through that today in one of your interactions with someone? Like, how would you actually go about doing it?
Okay.
Something specific.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Oh,
But yeah, so
if you go to Oz, make sure to take some video.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so how would I apply that today? Yeah, I guess in messenger conversations, just checking in with people, like asking more questions.
When you said you just had a quote a moment ago where you said asking people what the biggest change or transformation is they want to make in their life.
Yeah,
Ask that as a question in your group. Open-ended question, image post, headline
right.
image post. Ask
Yeah, I
that
like that.
question. Find
Right.
out what and just even simplify it.
Okay. Yeah, let me write
What's the
that down.
biggest change you want to make in your life right now? Asking questions and listening, certainly the single best way I think to build rapport and connection is asking questions and being present with the answers. Do you have any other skills or abilities or things that you do or have done in the past that are highly valued by others?
One thing that I want to apply what we just talked about into is with my art, making art that can help guide people through a transformative experience. And I haven't really got my art out there in the world yet. My idea is to do consults with people, find out what their biggest point of growth that they're working on is, or some key aspect that they're working on, and contemplate that and then encapsulate it into custom piece of art for them to have on their wall and contemplate, transformation, have a transformational experience with, and then have that as a visual aid to help integrate that experience. Oh,
So, this is the type of thing that you don't need to get paid to do, but you could absolutely give people a piece of transformational art as a gift, and if you wanted to, and then you could have a Zoom conversation with them or an in-person conversation. I would write down make a Google Doc and write down the questions that you'll ask them to get the inspiration to
okay. Yeah,
and then
definitely.
just do it. Start doing it and see what the feedbacks. See people will probably like it and appreciate the attention and the thoughtfulness, even
Yep.
if they don't like the art, right? Even if they don't like the art, what it represents will probably be cool, but it'll be interesting if you think about like a way of building some sort of a referral process or something like that. The other thing that you could totally do with this,
Hmm.
and this might be different than your process. What I imagined as you were talking was that you get a volunteer, which I'm totally willing to be a volunteer, and ask them the questions on a live stream to make it even more intense. What if the live stream was an hour and you both asked them the questions and completed the art piece on the live stream?
Wow. All right.
So that's why I'm saying I don't know about your process,
Right.
but like the reality is, if you
Hmm.
chose to complete them in an hour, you could complete them in an hour. I'm
Sure.
not
Okay.
saying that
Yeah.
that's what you should choose.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you decided that it was going to be an hour long art piece, it'll be done in an hour. It just depends on the parameters. But like doing that as a live demonstration of the process turns the art creation into a public experience
True.
where people can see what it's like to be asked these questions and watch the art unfold before their eyes. And then they can order at the end. Then they can sign
That's
up
a
for a
cool
paid
idea.
subscription at the end.
Right.
And nobody needs to know that it was free. Or maybe they do. I decided to do the first
Yeah.
few of these as a free experience for some of my friends. And if you want one for yourself, you can sign up at blog.com and charge 333 bucks or something to get the ball rolling. And then, but anyway, all I'm saying is if you want to create these transformational art experiences, I encourage you to do them like as quickly as possible. Like
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
your feet wet.
Thank
It's a cool idea. Listen, and it also involves asking people questions and listening. So that's a practical application of taking that into the real world. I like it.
Right. Yeah,
You created a vegan cookbook, didn't you?
I did.
How much did you sell it for?
$20, and then I think I did a Black Friday sale for $10 or something like that at one point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Will you send me a link to that, either
Yeah.
the book or the sales page or
Yeah.
both?
Yeah, I'll do
Ideally
that.
both. I just had an idea, but
Okay.
we can talk more about that later. Cool. So with this thought, with this idea of what are you born to do, it's related. Remember several weeks ago we did the unique ability exercise with the 3 circles?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ever get any clarity on your unique ability? I know we went through that process and we were gonna let it simmer. I don't think we ever circled back on it.
But I remember the theme of it was my art and personal development stuff, and yeah, that was the theme of it. It's
So
kinda like across the board.
so when you think about the 3 circles are what you love to do, what you love to engage in, right?
Yep.
What you are excellent at, where you're highly skilled,
Mhm.
meaning you have practice, you have experience, you know what you're doing,
Yep.
right? And what you've been paid the most to do. And ideally, you're looking for the sweet spot between those things, right? And you
Yep.
come up with your lists of the things, and then you're looking for crossover, and that crossover may or may not pop. And then you start looking at synonyms to your lists, and you say you're really looking for what's that crossover. And earlier when we were talking about I was talking about hypnosis and getting bored with it, and
Mhm.
I felt like I had solved all these problems. Well, my standing unique ability is solving problems under pressure. And so one of the
Right.
problems that I got into with hypnosis is I felt like I wasn't solving problems and that there was no pressure. So I was bored, right?
Yeah, it just
Wasn't
got
all
easy. Yep.
yeah, ability can change or the unique ability you're focused on can also shift. But it's almost one of these things where you don't decide your unique ability, you discover it. Right? It
Mhm.
like with sculpture is you're carving away the parts of the sculpture that need to be carved away to reveal what's already there. You're not creating something, you're discovering it. So as of this moment, do you have any inkling of clarity around your unique ability? Do you have any thoughts on what because it is directly attached to making money too. You can't just be like, "Oh, I've got
Right.
the first 2, but I've never been paid for it." Doesn't count. We're looking for the sweet spot where you can and have the ability to get paid to do the thing. Yeah.
The clarity that I got on it during the exercise and still feel clear on is what we just talked about with my art and doing the consults and asking those kind of questions.
With my
Mhm.
understanding, my feeling around unique ability is that what you're looking at with the art and the consults is an example of something you could do, but that's not unique ability shows up when you're doing everything. Pretty much. This is not
Interesting.
about
Alright.
it's not about art and consults, though you might that might be the path right now. In theory, this is also how you would make pasta.
Interesting.
In theory, you would use your unique ability when you're helping tow somebody out of a ditch, okay? That's what we're the unique ability can be applied in many different situations.
Okay.
And so that's what we're looking for is,
I guess that would be I remember something that came up in that exercise was improvisation. That's
"Oh,
something I'm
that's
really good
true."
at. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's something I could definitely apply to making pasta, making art, helping pull somebody out of a ditch. use finding what's around me and utilizing it in ways that maybe aren't the common usage for those objects or whatever it is.
That's also innovation.
Right. Yep.
I know Chris is pretty innovative
It is. Yeah.
and, there's innovation and then there's ingenuity. And
Mhm.
they're similar, but I feel like ingenuity is more like in the physical realm specifically. Like the ingenuity seems to be have something to do with engineering and mechanics in a certain way, right?
Okay. Yep.
So are you innovative? Do you have a high degree of ingenuity? What would you say best describes the way you go about it?
Yeah. I guess it's creativity and imagination.
So is it like creative problem solving
Yeah.
or or
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Yep.
it's also interesting to me because you like doing the art, which is a
Mhm.
physical world thing, and you mostly paint right now,
Yeah.
but you also built a house,
True.
like very physical world. I tend to be a little bit more in the idea realms a lot of the time, I feel. So maybe there's something in this about bringing like a vision into the physical world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely. Yep.
Or
Yeah. I guess that's like creation, like the creative process.
interesting,
Yeah.
like making I think there's probably something more elegant than this, but making ideas physical or something, bringing aha moments, making aha moments visible.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's this guy that I think I've mentioned to you before named Hugh McLeod, and he
Yeah.
runs a website called Gaping Void. And he is an artist, he's an illustrator. And his whole thing for many years was daily making a illustration and publishing it. So he'd do a drawing, a comic, usually often like a one panel comic in his own unique style. And they has a statement about something, and there's usually like a couple word thought bubbles or whatever, this like illustrating an observation that he's had about society or politics or the way things are or how people behave. Joe Polish is a huge fan of Hugh McLeod and in the past anyways had Hugh McLeod images framed up on his wall in
Oh,
his
cool.
in the
Yep.
25K group and stuff, and
Yep.
he wrote a book called Evil Plans, I think, which is a funny name, but basically he talks about having your creation, the thing that you create, also be something that's shareable and have it be something that you create and put out there to be shared in the world every day. And that's your job as a creator, as an artist, is to share your art with the world. So create shareable art, whether it's a haiku or whether it's a painting or whatever. And Ori Bengal did this, yeah, every day for over 7 years as he
Right.
created a piece of art and shared it with the world.
Yep.
Huge, built enormous
No, he
you
did.
know,
Yeah.
over a very long period of time. It's like little steps building toward long-term momentum. And so
Mhm.
that's super cool. So what and for many years, I channeled that idea that I learned from Hugh's book into writing emails. And I've been pretty stunted with my email. I haven't been sending very much email to my list lately.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I haven't been writing very creative stuff lately. I've been focused on honestly, I'm doing the community stuff and
Mhm.
the daily live stream
Right.
instead of focusing on the daily email,
Yep.
outbound marketing efforts in.
Mhm.
And what if you are not everybody identifies as a creative or an artist, and that's cool. But if you are, and if you're trying to do something creative and meaningful in the world, how can you create something every day that's shareable, that's spreadable, that spreads the word, that improves people's lives and brings people toward you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur who like your stuff. What are your thoughts on this, Eric?
I could be painting every day. I should be painting every day. I was painting every day.
Yeah.
I'm not with my paints currently.
Yeah.
Um,
And so that's, again, also very interesting is
yeah,
that just because we both know that just because you're not with your paints doesn't mean you can't
I
create
could be
art. Like if you
creating
open your
in other
notebook,
ways.
like
Yeah, sure. Yep.
you have to make the choice to do it, right? You have
Yep.
to
Making
set
the
the
choice.
premise.
That's true.
So one of the things that I've been wanting to do, but haven't pulled the trigger on yet is as we've been live streaming every day for Get Shit Done, what I've realized is I should be creating a hypnosis session every day.
Wow.
And should that be live streamed or not? I don't know. But is there actually a good reason that I'm not creating a hypnosis, like a 20 to 30-minute hypnosis session every day that I have as a product, as a free video, as a part of a course, as they could be for different purposes and different reasons. But if I'm creating one every single day, after a few years, that's thousands
Right.
of highly beneficial videos that
Hmm.
transform lives, each one of them. And every time you do one, you get better, you get more skilled. So consider what so you could paint every day, but painting every day isn't spreadable. Just doing a painting isn't shareable. So how would you make that
Get it out
shareable?
there. The live streaming idea was a good idea. I've done a little bit of that in the past, just not consistently. Yeah, there's the live streaming, there's short form video, there's taking a picture of it. Yep.
Consider how if you made a picture of water every day.
All right.
Directly relates. Pure path to
Yeah.
prosperity, baby. As a way of getting the ball rolling anyway. That's you don't have to
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, you could create art that, yeah, like, you could draw, like, a really nice pyramid. You could have the most beautiful comp plan image. Take creative liberties on the comp plan. What I'm saying is, how could you use visual art as a way of growing your existing business? That's
Hmm.
really the question, is how could you
Yeah.
use that
I
creation
guess I've always
process?
seen them as two really separate things. I mean, something I've noticed with each of them is my brain is it's operating from a completely different part of my brain and different. It just yeah, it's been completely different for me thus far. Maybe there's some crossover. I don't know.
Dude, there is crossover and it's
Okay.
infinite. Number 1 is start drawing portraits of people that are in Kangen while you're interviewing them. Number 2 is start making drawings and paintings of the water ionizers,
All right.
all different styles. Do a surrealist version, do a cubist version, do an impressionistic version, do a
Right.
watercolors, do a black and white, do a chalk. Go
Yeah.
You got your do some high-end oils, do one in house paint, make the ultimate art show, do a whole gallery show of your paintings of Kangen water ionizers,
All right.
okay?
Yeah.
Seriously, are you a photographer?
Not professionally.
Okay, now
Yeah.
you can be a professional photographer,
All right.
and you can start taking beautiful photos
Mhm.
of the water ionizer in different places and different situations and run all sorts of crazy filters on them and do whatever you wanna do. Take all
Right.
the
Okay.
creative liberties in the world.
Yep.
Maybe even not recognizable as a water ionizer by the time you're done. But the point is, you absolutely can use your unique abilities as a creator, if you choose,
Yep.
as a
Yep.
creator, as an artist, to do things to gain attention around Kangen that nobody else is gonna ever do, okay?
Right.
A, they don't have the guts. B, they're not an artist. C, they're not creative enough to do something that weird. So, but can you imagine if you had 3 beautiful water ionizer portraits of the actual ionizers up, like, hanging behind you on a nice white wall, and be like, "Dude, I wanna buy that painting." You'd be able to sell prints. Seriously.
Alright.
There might be a cop I guess there wouldn't be a copyright issue as long as you whatever. Anyway, the point is that you absolutely can you know what? This reminds me of a woman. I think her name was Tia, and she is an artist and an illustrator, and she used to go to events. I think I saw her at Joe Polish events actually, and she would create a visual art piece representation of the conference. And so she'd have her giant mural drawing painting situation. It was probably like a big, thick, rolled up piece of paper that she opened up and put up on a long wall. And at the beginning of the conference, she'd start drawing and painting. And by the time it was done, there was this like amazingly beautiful and very unique and appropriate image and painting or drawing of all the people in the event. There's like a timeline as it unfolded over the 3 days or whatever,
Wow.
and she'd get paid to go and attend marketing events for free and be the person that creates the art, okay? So don't limit yourself,
Alright,
or at
sure.
least don't limit yourself so much.
Yep,
There's so many opportunities. When
totally.
can so Yeah, think about how could you? And maybe this would even help to grease the wheels a little bit more, Eric.
Alright.
How could you use your creative abilities and your artistic abilities to help us promote the Get Shit Done show? What comes to mind?
I'm good really good with graphic design also. I don't know, that's just what came to mind. Yeah, I feel like I could make some digital get shit done art.
Okay, so
Yep.
perhaps, but to what end? What are we going to do with it?
To what
So
end? I
think
don't
about
know.
think from a marketing
Yeah.
angle, dude. So how could you use your creative and visual art capabilities? All I've really seen of your stuff are the warped black and white checker stuff.
Mhm.
And maybe that's your primary thing. I'm not sure. I don't know the breadth and depth of your skills. I have no idea what you're good at, what you're not good at, blah blah.
Okay.
Like from that perspective, right? What are some examples of ways that you could do something with visually or creatively that we could leverage into a way of growing get shit done?
To think
One
about that, yeah.
one way that you did do this, that we've talked about having you do this, and we just haven't gotten into the rhythm of it, is turning our content into well edited, visually engaging video shorts.
Right,
That's
right.
something we should start doing immediately because that would
Yep.
immediately help. Actually, Eric would be, you know what? I can design amazing logos. Maybe that's an example of how you could use your creative abilities in order to directly translate that into making money in the entrepreneurial business space is by just designing
Probably.
line doing static images these days is tricky because AI, but AI or not, that's an example of how you could apply it. Also doing like visually engaging posts on Instagram, right? For Get Shit Done. You could take content from our episodes and use
Mhm.
that as inspiration to create visually engaging image posts. Cool. Rock and roll. Eric, are you ready to do a little commercial break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rock.
Alright. So, I have created this Facebook group called Pure Path to Prosperity, and inside the group, we're gonna be talking all about network marketing and how to develop your skills with network marketing. We're going to be talking about the opportunity with Kangen Water that I'm working with for the past 5 years and how you can leverage that to create a lot of positive change in your life and abundance and work towards an epic future and ultimately overcome your challenges in life, get from where you're at currently and paint a brighter picture for yourself for your future. So yeah,
Right.
join the
Dream
Pure
come
Path
in.
to Prosperity. The link is in the description of this video down at the bottom. And I'm going to be hosting a webinar tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time where we'll be talking about, I'll be sharing and presenting the Kangen water opportunity. So if you're interested to learn more about that, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't heard of it, you're interested in high ticket sales, how to leverage a product that you can earn a lot of money from on a single sale, and involves team building and lots of great things. Join Pure Path to Prosperity, and I'll see you on the inside.
So awesome. All right, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. If you're not already a member of our community, then get on over to getshitdone.com. Join. You're going to love it. You get all sorts of awesome get shit done mindset training, as well as our weekly work party on Mondays at noon, where you can join us to shit done. Get all the stuff done in your life that is so important in your life and business, but you also know full well that you procrastinate on it. That's why you're getting together with us on Mondays at noon at getshitdone.com. So please join us on the inside, and we'll see you all very soon. As a matter of fact, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern. This is Telman Knudsen. That's Eric Oliver.
See
You
you
know what
guys
time it
tomorrow.
is? Time to get shit done. All right, guys.
All
Have an
right.
awesome day. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah. Thank you, Tillman.